So in this video, I want to take some time to talk about why it is that I collect comics, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts as well down in the comment section. But I began thinking about this topic because I've seen and heard so many people say that the comic book community is overly focused on money, overly focused on dollars and cents. And so I wanted to take some time to examine myself, to examine why it is that I collect, to figure out whether I am too focused on creating content that is focused on dollars and cents in a way that might be actually detrimental to the comic book community as a whole. So we are going to explore that in this video. And as I said, I'm very interested to hear what your thoughts are. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I want to invite you to do so because this is the type of content that I release every single week. Stay tuned. Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. As I mentioned in that brief intro, I wanted to take some time to examine myself and to think about why it is that I actually collect comics, why I did it back in the day and why I continue to do it to this day. And I wanted to dig in because I've heard so many people complain about the fact that we are too focused on dollars and cents. And so I wanted to give a little bit of thought to that. I will say that I personally read comics and continue to read comics because of the escapism that it affords me. I benefited from this as a teenager, and as an adult with lots of responsibilities, I also benefit from taking some time to just forget about reality for just a little bit and to focus on something else. Back when I was a fitness competitor, going to the gym, doing cardio afforded me this type of escapism. And while I no longer do that, I still benefit from taking some time to separate myself from the challenges that life presents me. Now, with that said, the accusation that we are too focused on dollars and cents, is there some merit there? I believe that there is. If you take a look at what happened in 2021 through maybe the early part of 2023, it was a spectacle. It was an absolute spectacle what was happening with the values of comics, collectibles, just across the board. And did I get caught up in that? Did we get caught up in it? Yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. This potentially was a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing that occurred. It was a perfect storm, if you will, as to what happened with the values of comics over the last couple of years. And it was exciting. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. Did I make some money during that time? Yes, you probably made some money as well. But part of the challenge with the accusation from people that we are too focused on dollars and cents is that that is the only focus that we have. A lot of these people, I think, believe that only one thing can be true at a time, and that is something that I reject. This idea that it is either this or that is just false. I personally believe that two things can exist at once, or technically multiple things can exist at once, and all of those things be simultaneously true. Here, when you buy a brand new car, suddenly you start to see that car everywhere. What happens is when people start creating content and viewing content of a certain nature, after a while, that starts to be the only thing that you see. Now, why is that? Yes, there is probably more of that content out there, but also the algorithms that exist in the various platforms like YouTube and Instagram begin to feed you what it is that you are actually consuming. And as a content creator, I can tell you for a fact that people absolutely engage with and view content dealing with dollars and cents more so than a video that is focused on the substance of a comic book itself. There is no doubt about that. The data supports that. If you are a content creator, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you create a video that talks about the substance of a comic, of a story, that video will not perform as well as one that is talking about the dollars and cents associated with the hobby. There is a reason that things like CGC, CGC unboxing, CGC grading are the most searched for terms on YouTube. There is a reason that those are so high on the ranking, because that is the content people are looking for. That is the content that people are consuming. And therefore, as a content creator, you're probably creating that type of content. Why would you create a video, take the time to brainstorm it, to maybe write it out, to film it, to edit it, to promote it, for it not to be watched? As a content creator, you just would not do that. You're going to focus on what it is that people are actually consuming. And what people consume are hot lists and videos that deal with CGC and the dollars and cents. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't also doing other things with comics. That doesn't mean that people aren't buying comics to simply read them and enjoy them. It doesn't mean that people aren't buying comics to appreciate the art. And so again, I took a hard look at myself and I asked myself some questions. Am I too wrapped up in the dollars and cents? Maybe, maybe not, right? I've always invested in comics, but I've also always read comics. I read maybe 10 to 20 comics every single week. Every single week, I am reading both new and old comics because I enjoy comics. I enjoy the stories. I enjoy the art. I enjoy, as I mentioned before, the escapism. I enjoy, as now a publisher of comics, seeing that intermixing of the writer, the artist, the letterer, the inker, kind of telling a story together, all from their different vantage points. To me, that is one of the more magical things of comics that I never appreciated before, because I didn't know what it took to actually create a comic book story. But now I have a better appreciation of it. But as I mentioned, I think that multiple things can exist at once and simultaneously and all be true. It is okay to focus on the dollars and cents. And you can do that while still reading and enjoying comics. You can enjoy sorting and organizing them, all things that I still enjoy. So again, I would encourage you to take some time to think about why it is that you collect. What keeps you going? Right? What is it that keeps you buying comics? Is it just about the dollars and cents? My guess is that it's not. My guess is that there are several reasons why you do what you do, because again, multiple things can exist at once. But with that said, I do want to encourage you to sound off in the comment section. Let me know why it is that you collect comics. What is it that keeps you motivated to read comics or to add them to your collection? I definitely want to hear from you. But again, these are just some of my thoughts. With all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, but I also want to make another appeal to you. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel for whatever reason, I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe now. I know for a fact that there are a lot of you that consume my content, both the shorts and the long form videos, that haven't yet subscribed. So I want to personally invite you right there to go ahead and do it. If you all need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.
This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yeah. Should you practice art? Or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master. The one that's more than a rapper. The one that's an educator. The one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts. He's got the mindset expansive. He understands that his time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan. Straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms of pure souls having them conversations. Synergy and combinations. You fly and we waiting. Indian style in the gold.